Tonight, 3 children dead and 4 more in hospital after a house fire in Sydney's west. A father accused of barricading them inside. From the air to the sea, the desperate search to find a man after his boat capsized at Lake Macquarie. A protest led by hunter activists paddles out on Sydney Harbour. Records tumble at the Gold Coast Marathon as runners from across the globe stretch their stride. And Kalen Ponga back in the red and blue as the Knights and Raiders game goes down to the wire.
This is NBN News with Tyson Cottrill.
Good evening. The search for a missing man in Lake Macquarie is tonight ticking into its 24th hour. A group of 4 mates were on a fishing trip last night before their boat capsized, sending them all into the water.
It was a quiet Saturday evening on the water in Swansea, but just before 8 o'clock, that changed.
Yeah. We're coming! I can't see, careful, slow down.
2 men in their 20s were pulled from the water by near locals after their boat overturned in Swansea.
Grabbed the first person off the boat, whacked him in our boat, and then we were driving around looking for the second guy, pulled the second guy in the boat, and then we were looking for the third guy, and he was swimming into the land onto the rocks, so he got there pretty safe, but yeah, didn't see the fourth guy, unfortunately.
That fourth man, a 23-year-old from Toronto, is still missing. Emergency services continue their search at dawn by land, sea and from the air. The missing man's family and friends gathered at the water's edge today, looking on in desperation. Fighting back tears, local resident Doug Coleman described the event which he and his wife witnessed unfold from the balcony of their home.
I could hear the voices and they were coming from the water. So I ran down to the water and started yelling back, and they were yelling, "Help, help, help."
Despite fast-flowing tides, Doug didn't hesitate and sprung into action, paddling out to try help.
I ran back inside and asked the boys to run and get my kayak whilst I put a wetsuit on.
The father of the missing man didn't want to speak on camera, but told NBN News he wants authorities to enforce stricter boating rules and increase police presence on the lake. The search tonight ticking into its 24th hour, and the family's hope slowly slipping away. Angie Davies, NBN News.
The federal coalition insists the states must respect the mandate for nuclear power if Peter Dutton becomes the Prime Minister at the next election. Both sides of Parliament insist they can get power prices down as protesters took an unusual approach to catch Anthony Albanese's eye.
Silhouetted at sunrise this Sunday paddle on Sydney Harbour, a protest demanding the end of fossil fuel passing the Prime Minister's residence, but mostly viewed by police. The government want fossil fuel replaced, eventually by wind, solar, hydro, batteries and some gas. The opposition want nuclear in the mix and want the states out of the way.
If the Australian people give a strong message about having an energy mix rather than all renewables approach, I think they want us all to be the adults in the room and get on with what the Australian people decide.
If Peter Dutton has to threaten the states and his own party members to support his risky nuclear plan, why should any Australian be prepared to support that plan themselves?
States are one problem, the Senate is another, where the Greens and Crossbench will likely hold the balance of power.
Oh, there's no threat. We'd rather be constructive. And if we get a mandate, I think what the Australian people want is leadership.
Polling released this weekend showed that women are far less likely to support nuclear. It means the challenge tonight for Peter Dutton is that a majority of voters, majorities in both houses here, the CSIRO and all of the states, are all yet to be convinced.
As well as opposing every one of our measures to take cost of living pressure off Australians, they have a plan to jack up power prices by more than 8 times what people are currently paying.
We're absolutely committed to having a credible plan to net zero by 2050 that keeps the lights on and the jobs here at home.
Charles Croucher, NBN News.
A senior government minister from Papua New Guinea has been charged with assault in Bondi. Police allege 58-year-old Jimmy Maladina assaulted a 31-year-old woman yesterday. He will face a Sydney court on Thursday. 2 men face Newcastle court today after allegedly injuring several police officers during an arrest in Toronto yesterday. Reporter Montana Clare is live now for us from the newsroom. Montana, how did it all unfold?
Tyson, police were called to a home on Awaba Road just after 3 a.m. yesterday, following reports of an alleged domestic incident. It's there that two men became hostile and barricaded themselves inside before police forced entry through the back. They arrested the two men, with one 35-year-old man allegedly in possession of knuckle dusters and a ring knife. It's alleged that during the arrest, one officer suffered a laceration to his leg, while others received minor injuries. The two men were taken to Toronto Police Station and subsequently charged with a number of offences. Tyson, both men return to court later this week.
Right, Montana, thank you. Almost 2 days on from a horrific crash at Port Stephens, tributes are flowing for the 16-year-old passenger who was tragically killed when a car packed with 5 teenagers veered off Lemon Tree Passage Road and collided with a tree. The driver, a 17-year-old L-plater, allegedly returned a positive roadside breath test. The 3 other passengers, aged between 14 and 17, were transported to John Hunter Hospital following the incident, where they remain. Investigations are ongoing. No charges have been laid. Now to a heartbreaking and horrifying story where 3 children have been killed in a house fire in Western Sydney. Police are tonight alleging a father barricaded them inside with 4 other children and that he tried to stop emergency responders from saving them.
Neighbours raised the alarm, calling 000 at 1 a.m. in just...
And they weren't like a normal little puff and flame fire.
Inside this burning Layla Park home, 2 adults and 7 young kids.
The first thing we heard was the screaming. It was terrible, and it was what woke us up.
Rescue crews, emergency services and locals battling powerful flames, and detectives claim Dean Heisman, who they allege was forcibly pushing them back.
They're alleging that this 28-year-old man did certain actions to prevent the rescue of those young lives that were lost.
2 boys pulled out, just 3 and 6 years old, receiving CPR on the street. They couldn't be saved. A 10-month-old baby girl found dead inside the home. A 9-year-old girl and 3 boys aged 4, 7 and 11 taken to Westmead Hospital. A 29-year-old woman distraught, also receiving treatment at the same hospital.
Hopefully those 4 kids are okay. I saw them sitting down just here. They were pretty shocked,
and will allege that this 28-year-old man's actions were directly the cause of the death of these 3 young people.
An event like this has a profound impact on all the emergency responders.
Just sitting there watching a little child sitting on a police constable's lap while she's comforting him, while paramedics are providing treatment. Firefighters are handing out our Care Bears, our little teddy bears, to try and give them that little bit of comfort. You know, a truly tragic event here this morning.
Neighbours say the surviving children told them the father ordered them to stay inside the home as it burned. One of them claiming he tried to fight in an effort to save his family. Allegedly telling rescuers, "Dad tried to kill us." Residents claim they saw the man attempting to drag the terrified children back inside. They say he was shouting, "Leave me here to die."
We're treating this as a domestic-related homicide, multiple homicide.
Premier Chris Minns releasing a statement labelling it horrifying and senseless, offering the family support too for this West Sydney community, now living with the painful reality of what they heard unfold.
Traumatising. You can tell the woman's been traumatised. I can't even imagine, what she's going through.
We've seen 3 young lives that's been taken away in the most tragic circumstances, and it's quite unimaginable how the family are coping with this.
At Westmead Hospital, Ruthven Williams, NBN News.
Central Coast Police are investigating a carjacking in Terrigal overnight. A 19-year-old woman and a 21-year-old man were parked in a Care Carnival on Beaufort Road at around 8 p.m. Police say the pair were held at gunpoint by an unknown man before the offender took off in their car.
Around 9:10, this vehicle was located in Anchorage Crescent. It was abandoned, appeared to be ransacked, and police have now seized that vehicle pending forensic investigation.
The person of interest is described as being in his late teens, about 170 centimetres tall, with a slim build, wearing all black. Anyone with information is urged to contact Gosford Police Station. Hospitality venue owners in the Hunter are celebrating new changes to noise complaint regulations. Under new vibrancy reforms, 5 people will now be required to lodge a formal noise complaint instead of 3, with new soundproofing grants also available for businesses.
New legislation only allows that neighbour to complain down one channel, and that's liquor and gaming. It's a great win for our business to be able to put on live music, but the biggest win is for the actual music industry.
The changes introduced this week are hoped to boost the state's nightlife economy. Port Stephens councillors will vote this week on whether to change the council area boundary lines. The Port Stephens border currently goes to the water's edge of Tea Gardens and Hawk's Nest in the Mid-Coast Council area and to the edge of the Hunter River in Raymond Terrace. Councillor Giacomo Arnott will move a motion arguing the boundary should be in the middle of each water body, so each council is responsible for its own shoreline. If the Tuesday night vote is successful, discussions will be initiated with neighbouring councils. Travelling and exploring new places can be daunting for people who are blind or vision impaired, but an emerging concept of sensory tourism focuses on presenting destinations differently, and businesses in Port Stephens are getting involved to ensure everyone can enjoy what the region has to offer.
Travelling hasn't always been an option for Sam Noonan.
Growing up, I didn't get to travel, and it's always been on my bucket list to see a lot of Australia.
But now she's been on over 30 trips around the country with the help of Cocky Guides and Sensory Tourism Australia.
This was slowed down and everything so that we could appreciate what was going on.
You tend to go to a lot of lookouts, and for people, obviously you've got low vision or are blind, it's ideal to instead remove the vision from it and replace it with some sensory and tactile elements.
This group today discovering the best that Port Stephens has to offer and really getting a feel for the region.
Stingrays are slimy-ish, and the sharks are more rougher.
Destination Port Stephens aiming to present the region differently.
They open up the attractions and the market to a whole new group of travellers, and it's great to see new visitors coming to the area.
Next month, Sensory Tourism Australia will hold a workshop for Port Stephens businesses, encouraging them to make their attractions and experiences more accessible and inclusive.
If everyone, is just willing to take that first step on a journey to accessibility, with the right attitude, you can be very inclusive already.
Montana Clare, NBN News.
Hundreds of drivers from across Australia are gearing up to take on the B2B Bash, a 6,000-kilometre journey that aims to raise money for children in rural communities. Today, Central Coast and Hunter locals embarked on a practice run ahead of the event next month.
Engines revving and lights flashing ahead of the annual Birth to Birthtown Bash. This year's route is slightly different, but the challenge of driving through rough dirt for 11 days remains the same.
We're going from Dubbo to Mudgee, 6,500 kilometres, 295 people, new friends of variety, going to the rural towns, making donations.
Money raised during the trip will go to Variety, supporting thousands of children who are sick, disadvantaged or living with a disability.
The goal this year is to get $1.6 million.
But first, a practice run. 10 kitted out vehicles from across the Central Coast and the Hunter rolling in to the Wyong Milk Factory after a 100-kilometre warm-up from Morisset this morning.
We bring people who've never done it before and get them used to what we call route notes, is how you learn where you go to A to B. So it's drive 2 kilometres, turn right, drive 5 kilometres, turn left.
No GPS, just a printed map and your passengers. There's a final call for those eager to join, with registrations closing next Sunday.
And what we've done for small communities in the bush is just incredible. And like I say, if you haven't bashed, you haven't lived.
Amber Griffin, NBN News.
Well, a few showers across the Hunter today. Let's take a quick look at the temps. 17 the top at Williamtown, 17 also at Newcastle, down to 5 overnight at Cessnock, between 6 and 17 degrees at Singleton. You're watching NBN News. Still ahead, fresh calls for the US president to drop out of the race. Gastro cases at a 20-year high, and the reason why might surprise you. And Sydney Zoo's latest exhibits.
How's the nose and throat?
Big Vapor Drops Extra Strong.
At Optus, helping protect your identity is our priority. Digital ID is the simple and convenient way to verify your identity with Optus.
For lovers of coffee.
The fantastic clearance sale is on now, with over 4,000 products to choose from. Enjoy 30% off on the Bloom mattress range and save $100 off the Melody Queen bed, just $399. T's and C's apply. Find your fantastic.
Now's the time to get into the Mazda CX-3 Sport from $29,990 drive away, or the Mazda CX-5 Max, now from $37,990 drive away. Visit your local dealer and drive away today.
Even on the busiest of days, pain can get in the way. Choose Nurofen Advanced Liquid Capsules to unleash the speed of liquid, relieving headaches fast, because every minute matters.
I love having red energy on my team, and I think you will too. So if you want real Aussie energy, give Red a call today on 131 806.
The Nick Scully winter sale is on now with up to 50% off selected designer furniture. Save up to 50% at the winter sale. On now at Nick Scully.
Harriet Rebar. Tough. Strong. Comfortable. Harriet Rebar. And here's a blocking bar.
Disney on Ice is hitting the road and you're invited. Once the fun starts, it never stops. At Disney on Ice presents Road Trip Adventures, Newcastle Entertainment Centre from July 11th. Book now at Ticketek.
My daughter did teach me many things. I was the one that gave Mum Fairy 30-minute miracle. And Steph taught me to save energy by switching from 60 to 30 in the Electrolux dishwasher. Looks clean.
See, in 30 minutes.
That's very squeaking clean.
The bodies of two men believed to be fishermen have been found on the rocks at Little Bay in Sydney's east. Police were called just after 11 o'clock this morning. They found a number of items on the rocks before the bodies were found a short time later. A fifth Democrat has turned against US President Joe Biden as calls for him to drop out of the presidential race grow louder. It was hoped a primetime television interview would soothe party nerves. Instead, it appears to have done the opposite.
Joe Biden passing tombstones on his way to church. He's a man hoping to resurrect his presidential campaign amid growing pressure to drop out. Today, it was from Congresswoman Angie Craig in the swing state of Minnesota. President Biden is a good man, but I believe he should step aside for the next generation of leadership. That latest call following the president's TV special.
Not only am I campaigning, I'm running the world.
And as America picked apart every answer Joe Biden gave, today it was the questions on 2 radio interviews he did which raised eyebrows.
The questions were sent to me for approval. I approved of them.
2 hosts revealing the Biden campaign provided the questions for them to ask in separate interviews following the debate.
Here at the US Capitol, the number of Democrats calling for Joe Biden to stand aside is growing by the day, setting up a public clash with a defiant president who insists he's not going anywhere.
Every event going forward, Biden needs to be perfect. He cannot slip up. He cannot make big mistakes.
But remaining on the ticket could mean a one-way ride out of the White House. It's been more than 3 decades since an incumbent had approval ratings this low. In Washington, D.C., Lauren Tomazi, NBN News.
4 people have been killed and 3 injured in a mass shooting at a birthday pool party in the US state of Kentucky. The shooter later died from a self-inflicted gun wound after leading police on a car chase. Hurricane warnings have been issued for the Texas Gulf Coast as Beryl re-strengthens on its approach. Residents have been warned to brace for flooding, heavy rain and gale-force winds as the storm nears. At least 11 people died as Hurricane Beryl passed through the Caribbean islands earlier in the week. Buoyed by a comprehensive election win, British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer has held his first cabinet meeting in the new job. Starmer, who won with a thumping majority, tonight turning his attention to the enormous task at hand.
Day one of a new government, the cabinet team assembles, hoping to open a new door to British prosperity.
We have a huge amount of work to do, so now we get on with our work.
And they have their work cut out for them. Sir Keir Starmer accepting the new Health Secretary's summation that the National Health Service is broken, declaring the Conservatives' controversial plan to send migrants to Rwanda is dead and buried.
It's never been a deterrent.
The first Labor PM in 14 years, navigating a massive majority, a new job and a new home.
There are plenty of hidden places I'm yet to discover, and no, we're not unpacked quite yet, but we will be soon, and we'll be moving in soon.
Keir Starmer doesn't have long to get too comfortable here at Number 10. Tomorrow he will travel to Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales. The PM says he's been given a clear mandate to govern for all 4 corners of the UK. The well wishes coming from home and abroad.
You are now connected to Air Force One.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Prime Minister, congratulations. What a hell of a victory. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. President.
In just a few days, the 2 leaders will come face to face in Washington for the NATO summit, where the UK's Prime Minister will reaffirm the country's support of Ukraine. It's set to be Starmer's first major test on the world stage. In London, Jessica Millward, NBN News.
Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese won't be attending NATO this week. Political editor Charles Croucher has the details.
Deputy Prime Minister Richard Marles will be there instead. Australia's not a NATO member, but this is the most powerful alliance in the world. This meeting will be crucial. Keir Starmer's first NATO may also be Joe Biden's last, and it comes at a vital time for the war in Ukraine. Speaking today, Bill Shorten said Australia will go the distance with Ukraine until Russian invaders are out. All around the NATO table feel the same way, but with the elections approaching in the US and big contrasts in the way Donald Trump and Joe Biden deal with allies, there'll be nerves around that NATO table as well.
Gastro cases are at a 20-year high. There have been nearly 12,000 cases this year, 4 times as many as last year, with a quarter of all infections in children under 4 years old. Experts say the bug is being spread by swimming in contaminated water and contact with people who are infected. Heavy storms and floods are also helped spread the parasite. Sydney Zoo has gone back in time, revealing a new exhibit just in time for the school holidays. Life-size animals making their return to roam the park for a limited time only.
Everything from how they look to how they hunted, and probably how they thought as well. These guys are pretty switched on.
The dinosaurs are naturally a hit, as they always have been with kids. Except maybe when they're breathing down your neck.
Dinosaurs are his favourite things.
My daughter loves them, so thankfully they've got the signs there to tell us, otherwise I'd be stuck.
The show's animatronic Velociraptor the Star, with 5 shows daily. And while the tigers have given it a big meh, and the chimps couldn't care less, there were plenty of other smaller mammals who loved them.
If you want to know anything about a dinosaur, ask a 6-year-old and they'll probably get it right.
The Velociraptor returning the love, maybe sometimes a bit too much. Mike Dodgen, NBN News.
Coming up next, running late for a flight. We've all been there, but nothing quite like this. Plus, from chairs to tables and even beanbags, see the Australian touches on the Olympic Village in Paris. And brave competitors tackle the Gold Coast's most gruelling race. We'll have all the action from this year's marathon.
Snooze members save up to 40% off. Save up to 40% off mattresses and up to 40% off bed frames. Hurry, the Snooze member event is on now. It's amazing what a little snooze can do.
What does it take to make an impact on this world? Is it being a superstar or refusing to give up? At Toyota, we believe the world improves when we all come together to take a leap towards a future we all want, safer, electrified and inclusive. Because every person, every action and every step matters. Well, we've got a team here already making a difference, and we can't wait for you to be a part of Team Everyone.
Oh, what a feeling.
Toyota.
Done. New Strepsils Triple Relief Formula helps to soothe your sore throat, relieve a chesty cough, and chest congestion. For chesty cough relief, try Strepsils.
Oh, we must have met about 15 years back.
He just has this way of looking into my eyes, like...
Our kids even go to the same school.
Oh, did I tell you? He runs his own business. I'm definitely going to see him again.
Excellent. See you in 12 months, Emma?
Okay, great.
Because our stores are run by local optometrists, they put your care first, which can make them rather popular.
Apparently he's seeing half the town.
Book a bulk build eye test today.
Ducks, hot water, built stronger to last longer.
Made in Australia for over 100 years, Ducks hot water systems are built stronger to last longer. Ducks.com.au.
Ducks.
Could I do the Lucky Deluxe Ultra Wash, please?
Add some thrill to your wait with the thrill of a $40 million jackpot every 3 minutes. Keno Go. Download the app now.
When she has a cold, you just want her to feel herself again. You enjoy the show. We'll do the cold and flu, pain or fever relief for up to 8 hours. Nurofen, leave the pain and fever to us.
Best sheds up to 40% cheaper. American Barnes from $8,900. All sheds are backed with a 20-year manufacturer's warranty. Call Best Sheds on 1-800-15-17-80 or check out our range at bestsheds.com.au.
Where to from here? Will your life ever be the same? Are you getting what's fair, not just what's offered? Talk to Slater and Gordon, and we'll take it from here.
It's time to hit the ice and see your 6-time national champions, the Newcastle North Stars, take on the best from around Australia. For tickets and game day information, visit northstars.com.au. Major sponsor, Newcastle Psychiatry.
The Olympics are a long way from home for our athletes, but they'll have Australian reminders everywhere they look or sit. A Melbourne company is fitting out most of the athletes' village and games venues with everything from chairs to tables and beanbags.
At training, rest or play, everywhere athletes go in the Olympic Village, they'll be surrounded by Australian touches.
A little bit of Aussie pride about all this?
Oh, yeah, it's great. We are a small family business coming from Melbourne.
A small business with a global footprint. Carly Morris and her team have been fitting out the village with everything needed to make it a home away from home.
So we fitted out the apartments, wardrobes, nightstands, sofas, beanbags, coffee tables, everything that goes into the apartment. And then in the village club, we've got tables, chairs, stools.
In keeping with the sustainability mission of these games, the athletes' areas feature coffee tables made from recycled shuttlecocks and chairs from recycled bottle caps. The sheer volume of products needed is enormous because they're not just fitting out the athletes' village.
You must have had to source thousands and thousands of items.
Hundreds of thousands of items, especially in the village. That's where the most of our product is. And then we have products all around the venues as well. So it's not just the village, we do all the venues.
The business started as Rambler Furniture in 1950. In 2000, it took to the Olympic stage and has stayed there ever since.
It's a family business started by my grandfather way back when. The first Olympics we did was Sydney 2000, and we're doing the Olympic Games and Commonwealth Games ever since, with some Winter Olympics and FIFA World Cups thrown in as well.
To complete the monumental task, Carly has spent the past 2 years living in Paris.
Paris has been amazing, though. Working with the French has been great. The city is beautiful, and the croissants are amazing.
She and her team are now Olympics veterans. It's like they're part of the furniture. Brett McLeod, NBN News.
Shirtless and shoeless, a man has been filmed sprinting across the tarmac at Los Angeles International Airport. Police quickly chased him down, tackling him to the ground and taking him into custody. It's not known why the man was on the tarmac. It seems the world's tallest mountain is also our highest rubbish tip. Soldiers and Sherpas collecting 11 tonnes of garbage from Mount Everest during this year's climbing season, and it could take them years to clear it all. 4 dead bodies and a skeleton were also recovered. A dam breach in China has caused major flooding, with work to seal the rupture proving quite dangerous. Hundreds of rescue personnel were called in for the emergency at the country's second largest freshwater lake. More than 5,000 people had to be evacuated. A French cyclist in the Tour de France has been fined for stopping to kiss his wife during a stage of the race. The governing body said the penalty was for inappropriate behaviour. The cyclist apologised, but clearly a romantic at heart, he added he'd pay the $330 fine every day to relive that moment.
And they're away. A grueling 42.2 kilometre challenge conquered by thousands today. Little morning's right. Thomas Katam from Kenya taking home gold and a $15,000 payday.
This is my first time to Australia. I'm so grateful for today's match. It was fantastic.
Japan's Yuki Nakamura setting a new women's record, 2 hours, 24 minutes and 22 seconds. In the wheelchair marathon, Australian Paralympian Christy Dawes taking top spot.
The weather is beautiful, the course is great. On home soil, this is as good as it gets.
There's so much excitement here on the coast, and the conditions couldn't be any more perfect for the 10,000 competitors taking on the course today. A loud and proud crowd cheering them on from the sidelines.
It's like every single person that's cheering is cheering on for you, and it just gets you home.
With plenty of characters pounding the pavement.
Just crossed the line as the fastest electrolyte mascot ever.
And familiar faces conquering the course too.
I've raced here 9 times, and it's a 10-minute PB, so I'm stoked.
It was a family affair in the 10K. 83-year-old Ken Draper tackling the track with his grandson Billy.
Proud. Holding back tears.
An emotional moment too for family and friends paying tribute to Frenchman Florian Gallet, who collapsed 100 metres from the finish line last year. His brother wearing Florian's bib in his honour today. This year's event, the biggest to date, with more than 2,800 international races travelling the distance. These newlyweds flying all the way from Tokyo.
We decided to go course marathon for our honeymoon.
Of course, there's no gain without a little pain, but definitely something to celebrate.
A lot of beers, a lot of beers. A slight bit of mischief sprinkled on top.
Expecting plenty of sore heads and bodies tomorrow. McKenna Bailey, NBN News.
Plenty of amazing stories as well. Adam Murray is here with sport. Adam, it's back-to-back wins for the Knights.
Tyson, they did just enough in Canberra after the break. All the highlights from the nail-biting victory and its influence on the State of Origin selection. We'll tell you who's in the box seat for a recall next. Plus, familiar faces in Australia's basketball teams for Paris as selectors bank on experience in pursuit of Olympic glory.
Seatbelt detection cameras are in operation on New South Wales roads. Penalties now apply. So if you or your passengers aren't wearing a seatbelt or wearing one incorrectly, you can stop it or cop it.
So, you want to make an entrance? It's important to move with purpose. Take in your surroundings. Signal your intention. And enter with poise. Because how you arrive leaves a lasting impression. Arrive in the first ever Lexus LBX.
Amcal is your pharmacy for cold and flu relief. Cottrill Cold and Flu Day and Night 24 tablets, now $11.99. Sudafed Nasal Decongestant Spray 20ml, now $9.99. For your local Amcal pharmacy, visit amcal.com.au.
We've got the lowest prices of painting this DIY July.
Taubman's Interior Paint, $67.90. Monarch Brush Pack, just $30.
Where you find a competitor's lower price on the same stocked item, we'll beat it by 10%. Lowest prices are just the beginning.
There are some things in life you might regret, and there are some things you don't. Pay the same price at every Honda centre in your state or territory. Plus get 5 scheduled services for $199 each as standard. You don't regret a Honda.
Felix, I know what you're looking for.
Felix Gravy Lover. Delicious meaty chunks served with extra gravy. Your little rascal will find it good to the last slurp. Clever cats get Felix Gravy Lover.
The winter free sale is on now at Tank World. Like our 23 650 litre corrugated from just $24.95. Prices are being frozen to their lowest levels. Hurry, sale ends July 15th. Think Tank World. 1-800 68 69 70.
Painful sore throat, ruining your day? Turn it around with Strepsils. Strepsils Extra helps kill bacteria and numbs pain fast. For effective relief, try Strepsils.
Things are heating up inside at Newcomb's Barbecues Galore with red-hot savings on a wide range of wood heaters. Plus receive a free flue kit with every wood heater sold and buy now, pay later available. Limited time only at Barbecues Galore, Rutherford.
Get the job done right every time with Taylor's Outdoor Power Equipment. Get the biggest brands and the best products from the experts, plus accessories, parts, and service and repairs. So get into one of Taylor's 4 big locations or go online today.
The Knights held their nerve in the nation's capital this afternoon, defeating the Raiders 16-12. Back-to-back victories, keeping Newcastle's finals dream alive. Kalen Ponga back in the number 1.
I'm excited. Nervous to be back out there, but it'll feel good once I'm out there in the swing of the game.
Game 250 for Tyson Cottrill, and the skipper's first in more than 2 months. The Raiders did their best to change the narrative.
Crash play, Papa, over! I don't know!
He's smiling, Matthew.
Canberra's defence wasn't as crash hot. Dane Gagai left them scrambling on the right. Greg Marju continued his try-scoring form on the left.
Shot left, the ball to Marju. It's the second consecutive try for the Knights.
Adam O'Brien gave Gagai a licence to roam in the second half.
It's sweeping around Gagai. They didn't see him coming from one side to the other.
The Knights had the run of momentum, but KO Weeks showed how quickly it could change.
He's gone! And another runaway try for KO Weeks. Can you believe it? Newcastle were $1.01 to score.
The next 20 minutes full of errors and chances going begging. The Knights managing to hold on for a 16-12 win. Adam O'Brien left the happier of the two coaches.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty at all. Probably that last 20, 15. Coach was probably up in the box. Sweating his ass off, but yeah, no, happy with the win. Came down here to do a job, and we got it done.
The effort was there, and we had our moments to ice it, and we couldn't.
The Roosters momentum.
The Roosters on the rise, but today was about more than their climb up the ladder.
It means so much to this club and this team. It was important for us to really honour that in a special way, and we did that with how we played.
An emotional entrance for the milestone man.
Everybody in rugby league passes on their congratulations for game 307 to you, Jared Lyria Hargreaves.
The new Roosters record holder. His outing had everything that he's known for. Big hits, blood, and after this high shot, a stint in the sin bin.
It was probably written in the stars.
The setback didn't rattle the Roosters.
Radley to Desco, Young, and he has to beat the tackle, and he does.
Ahead 14-6 at the break, the Dragons were the first to score in the second half.
Great hands, Surly, took a lot to do.
But after that, the Roosters ran right.
Kicking Brighton!
5 straight tries, taking them to a 42-12 triumph, honouring Warrior Hargraves.
So proud. Thanks to everyone. I love you guys. I love this club. Just a real proud moment for myself, the team, and my family.
Saints sliding out of the top 8. Shane Flanagan couldn't hide his frustration.
This is a journey for us. Rome wasn't built in a day, and we need to make sure that we keep building.
Sam Jordan, NBN News.
Michael Maguire is tonight facing one of the biggest decisions of his coaching career. Who replaces Latrell Mitchell for next Wednesday's Origin decider? Zach Bailey joins us now. Zach, has the coach made the call?
Adam, as long as Bradman Best pulls up okay from today's win over the Raiders, the Knights centre will replace Latrell Mitchell. Now, Best is in line to play his second match for New South Wales after scoring 2 tries on debut in Game 3 last year. It's important to remember he wasn't available for selection for this year's series opener due to a hamstring injury. Tom Trebojevic and Joseph Suaalii were considered by Michael Maguire, but both players have lacked game time in recent weeks. As for Latrell Mitchell, well, he was spotted on social media in a moon boot today. He'll see a specialist on Tuesday, and the only way he doesn't play again this year, or if he plays again this year rather, is if he doesn't have foot surgery. Another big news out of the Blues camp, Mike Maguire is set to drop Hamoli Olakau'atu for Game 3. That means former Knight and Warriors hard man Mitch Barnett is set to make his Origin debut. The squad will be officially named later tonight and head back into camp tomorrow, Adam.
Plenty happening. Thank you, Zach. The Wallabies spent the morning recovering at Coogee after last night's 25-16 win over Wales. The Joe Schmidt era off to a winning start in Australia's first victory at Allianz Stadium since 2014.
A win is really important, and it always is, because that's what you get judged on externally. But internally, I think just some of the moments that we did really well to earn the win, that's what will be the focus for us this week.
The Wallabies' second test against Wales is in Melbourne on Saturday night. The Giants believe their incredible 12-point win over Carlton can kick-start their season. Down by 39 in the first quarter, GWS produced a stunning turnaround, booting 9 straight goals to lead by 36 at three-quarter time.
You know, it's not often you're 33 points down at quarter time and you can respond like the way our guys did. So that'll give us an enormous amount of confidence. We know we've got it in us, but you've then got to do it.
The victory puts the Giants back into the top 8. A series of Olympic veterans will lead Australia's quest for basketball medals in Paris. 43-year-old Lauren Jackson will become the first Opal to play at 5 games, while Paddy Mills and Joe Ingles have both been included in the Boomers squad.
She's one of Australia's most decorated athletes, a 7-time WNBL champion, a 2-time WNBA champion, and now Lauren Jackson is a 5-time Olympian.
Such a magic experience to be back here and to be doing it with these girls. It's so special.
Before today, Andrew Gaze was the only Australian basketballer to attend 5 Olympic Games. Now, the mum of 2, Paddy Mills and Joe Ingles are all adding their names to that coveted list.
I think it's very emotional, the amount of pride and passion that you put into the green and gold, you put into the Boomers.
Mills and Ingles previously represented the green and gold in Beijing, London, Rio and Tokyo. But what makes Jackson's accomplishment so special is that she's missed the last 2 Olympics, playing for Australia in Sydney, Athens, Beijing and London.
And I think that's probably what drove me more than anything, was my teammates and how incredible they've been and how much fun it's been with them. So thank you, you guys.
The Boomers team selection, one of the toughest to date. Many raising eyebrows as to why NBA player Matisse Thybulle couldn't find his way into the side.
Because the talent we've got in Australian basketball is as good as it's ever been, and when you have players like that missing out on the team, it's more a compliment to the guys that we have.
An Olympic debut for Australia in 3-on-3 basketball. Our women's Kangaroos ready to show the world what they're made of.
Being our first Australian 3x3 team to be competing over there at the Olympics has been nothing short of amazing.
And with the Boomers and Opals going undefeated against China in their Olympic warm-up matches here in Melbourne, it served as the perfect confidence boost into what should be a gruelling Olympics campaign.
We don't want to walk away with anything less than a medal, but we're going for the gold medal for sure.
England is into the semi-finals of the Euros. Gareth Southgate's men travelled Switzerland with 10 minutes to go before levelling the scores and sending the game to penalties. England perfect from the spot to win the shootout 5-3. They'll face the Netherlands for a place in the final, who also came from a goal down to defeat Turkey. Coming up, Alex de Minaur, the last Aussie standing at Wimbledon.
Remember, we're just here for a toe ball. Oh, we might need to take this toe ball out for a test drive.
Find your O with a $1,500 finance deposit bonus across the Hilux range. Toyota. Good thing you're covered by Budget Direct.
Yeah, the reviews are glowing.
Insurance sold with Budget Direct.
APT's Discover the World sale is here. Enjoy a 15-day Europe River cruise on our brand new luxury ships. From $7,995 per person, flights included. Search APT Luxury Travel or contact Hello World Travel.
Bring home something exciting. The stylish Volkswagen T-Roc is in stock and available now. Volkswagen. Done. New Strepsils Triple Relief Formula helps to soothe your sore throat, relieve a chesty cough, and chest congestion. For chesty cough relief, try Strepsils. Tax cuts are here, and people will now start to see them in their take-home pay. The Australian Government's tax cuts are for every taxpayer, helping Australians keep more of what they earn. Visit taxcuts.gov.au. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra. Oh yeah, that's the feeling. Progress. Momentum. Getting somewhere.
Nick Scully Winter Sale is on now with up to 50% off selected designer furniture. Save up to 50% at the Winter Sale. On now at Nick Scully.
Matt, smash a coffee.
Got it.
World-class beans, expertly roasted and barista made. 3-story specialty coffee at the Coffee Club. It's the best coffee we've ever made.
It's snow time at Hunter Valley Gardens. An epic ice world packed full of frosty fun for all the family. Tickets for snow time on sale now at hbg.com.au.
The Mojo Homes mid-year sale is here with up to $85,000 in savings on your new home. More inclusions, more packages, more cash discounts, and so much more. Visit your nearest display home to get much more with Mojo Homes.
This report brought to you by Harvey Norman, proudly supporting Australian athletes from grassroots to the games.
Alex de Minaur is Australia's lone singles hope at Wimbledon after Alexei Popyrin's fighting loss to Novak Djokovic. Against the 24-time Grand Slam winner, Popyrin made a red-hot start, only to fall short of an upset.
If there was an honour board for honourable losses, Alexei Popyrin's name would be honoured. He was simply undaunted in his debut centre court appearance. As brave as he was, Popyrin would be the latest to succumb to the sheer brilliance, come resilience, of Novak Djokovic.
And there it is. There is the sound of centre court for Djokovic again.
A few hours earlier, with that heavily protected knee for all to see, there were murmurings that Novak's body was on the blink. But Popyrin was sound in both mind and body, surprising the 7-time Wimbledon champion by taking the first set. While the skies above had a sense of gloom, inside centre court it was more a feeling of doom, at least for Djokovic. But just as London's weather can turn in an instant, so too can the Serb, winning the next 2 sets. As gripping as this match was, some fans were glued to their phones watching England's soccer fortunes at the Euros.
We're just going to have to take a pause for a moment.
Djokovic himself might relate to the Euros, entering extra time in a career which has already achieved more goals than anyone could have imagined. And as for Alexei Popyrin, he now has a real belief that he belongs.
Supercars Championship leader Will Brown suffered heavy damage in the first lap crash in race 2 at Townsville and barely made the checkered flag, finishing last. That allowed Ford to sweep the podium, Matt Payne beating home Cam Waters and Chaz Mostert. More championship points for the Hunters' Christian Mansell in Formula 3 after finishing 5th in last night's sprint race at Silverstone. Postponed earlier in the day due to torrential rain, Mansell started on the 3rd row of the grid, fending off his rivals in the final laps. He'll start 7th for tonight's feature race. It's now 7 goals in 3 games for Braden Crowley after scoring a brace in Maitland's 4-2 win over cellar dwellers Lake Macquarie in round 18 of NPL. Cooks Hill smashed Rosebud 6-0. Cody Nancaro scored this stunner, but it was overshadowed by teammate Carter Smith, who bagged a hat-trick. This afternoon, Western defeated Valentine and Azuri went down 2-1 to Olympic. The Wallaroos recorded their first win of 2024 with a 64 points to 5 thumping of Fijiana. Without Hunter try-scoring machine Maya Stewart, fellow winger Desiree Miller stood up. Hunter Juniors made the trip down the M1 to watch their heroes in action. Lane Morgan and Leilani Nathan both starting at Allianz Stadium. Nathan spellbinding her rivals in the first half.
Miller ends up with it through the middle. Miller goes. Elusive. Shot hard to stop. She's got a hat-trick in the opening half.
Joe Yap, one happy coach. Desiree Miller bagging 4 tries in the Wallaroos' 59-point win. In North Sydney, the Wildfires went into battle with Eastwood.
The intercept from Jordan set it up, but some lovely ball playing, and the Wildfires go bang, bang.
The Hunters' 12-point lead was run down after the break. The two sides continued trading blows, with only 1 point separating them both, with 8 minutes left on the clock.
Falling over the line, the try for Hunter!
Eastwood looked to have sealed the result with a try in the corner, but the Wildfires hit back with one of their own. Jack Evenden then showed he has ice in his veins.
To win the game, Evenden drives it out for the touchline, heads towards the uprights, the flags are up!
The 29-28 win, the Wildfires' 5th of the season. The women's side also proved too strong for East in the Jack Scott Cup, winning 22-10. Closer to home in Hunter Rugby, Maitland remain on track for back-to-back premierships with a 46-19 win over Wanderers. The Blacks blowing away the home side in the second half.
Plenty of room here to move, and there's another 5 points, Pat Bainey.
In other matches, Merriweather defeated the Students 37-17 and Hamilton were too strong for Southern Beaches 48-21. Holly Cooper's Swans teammates have no doubt that Nova Castron will force her way into the AFLW side and make her debut this season.
Excited to see what she's going to bring this season, and yeah, get ready for those. She's going to crash packs. She's going to get that ball into D50. She's going to do all the hard work, but yeah, she's a great player, and we love having her here.
The squad wrapped up their visit to the Hunter today, hosting another skills clinic for young girls at Cameron Park. In the Black Diamond Cup, Jaden Morgan booted Terrigal Avoca to a 92-27 win over Maitland yesterday. Morgan finished with 6 majors in the 65-point win. At Warners Bay, the Dogs upstaged City by 20 points, and Cardiff scored a monster win over the entrants Baddo Bay. And adopted Nova Castrian Sarah Baum fell just short of a quarterfinals berth at the Bolido Pro in her homeland, South Africa. She went down in the round of 62 by less than 2 points. Baum will now turn her attention to representing South Africa at the Olympics, and I cannot wait for that one.
Absolutely. Thanks, Adam. Stay with us after the break. We'll take a closer look at all the Hunter weather details.
Look out, travel guides. Peru is coming for you. Next on 9.
Women don't want you to be kind, they want you to control them.
Hey, I'm talking to you.
What are you doing? All right?
Yeah, smarting.
Definitely all right.
Do you know what's influencing your kids? Learn the hidden trends of disrespect before they lead to violence. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Busy home? Make the right family-friendly choices with the Choices flooring designed for living sale. Save on stylish, durable and stain-resistant carpets. Go online or visit your nearest Choices flooring showroom. Extreme hair damage versus 3-minute miracle. Who's going to win? This is Pantene Miracles, and this is how it repairs.
Excellent. See you in 12 months, Emma?
Okay, great.
Because our stores are run by local optometrists, they put your care first, which can make them rather popular.
Kia, movement that inspires. At Coles, we're helping to reduce the cost of your weekly shop. Simply scan your Flybuys in store and turn 2,000 Flybuys points into an instant $10 off your shop. $10 off with Flybuys. That's great value, hands down, at Coles.
I've suffered from back pain most of my life, and over time I've started getting niggles in my neck, my knee and my feet. As soon as I got the arch supports, I could feel the difference. The back's good and all the niggles are gone.
See for yourself at the Good Feet store.
Choosing a solar and battery solution for your home can help reduce your bills and the impact to the environment. At Aztec Solar, we're committed to providing a quality tailored solution for your home. Make Aztec Solar your choice.
Your local weather forecast is brought to you by NRMA Insurance.
Well, the clouds rolled in today along with the showers yet again, and it's looking like a wet start to the working week. Taking a look at the satellite, and a broad trough over western New South Wales is bringing that rain and some severe storms, while cloud along the coast is delivering a few showers. Tomorrow we should see the wet weather extend further across northwest New South Wales as that rain band moves east. Humid northeasterlies will see more showers along the coast. Cloudy and plenty of rain across the Hunter to round out the weekend. 17 the top at Nobby's Head, 18 at Lake Macquarie, down to 5 degrees overnight at Cessnock, topping out at 17 degrees. Similar conditions at Maitland, while Cessnock reached 17 degrees. Tomorrow it's looking like a wet start to the working week, with showers increasing throughout the day. 20 the top expected at Newcastle after a low of 11 overnight, between 9 and 19 at Toronto. Topping out at 18 at Wyong, moving up further in the valley. 18 the top at Singleton. Muswellbrook can expect a top of 19 after a low of 9 degrees overnight. Coastal waters information now, and the seas, they will be 1.5 metres with a 2 metre swell off the Hunter coast. The sun, it's up at just before 7 a.m. and it's down at 2 minutes past 5. The morning low is at 6 minutes past 4. The afternoon low at 3:30. Take a look at what's in store for the week ahead for Newcastle, and showers likely for the next couple of days, increasing on Tuesday between 3 and 15 mils expected. Thankfully, the showers will be short-lived, warming up and finding up on Wednesday, a top of 20 degrees with an overcast rest of the week expected. Scones, some heavy falls expected over the next couple of days between 3 and 10 mils on Tuesday. Overcast conditions expected for the rest of the week, quite cool in the mornings as well. And Gosford, similar story, between 3 and 15 mils of rain expected on Tuesday. And that is NBN News for this Sunday. Thanks for your company. Good night.